Welcome everybody to the Chloe Clive collection. Today we got a doozy for you. I don't know if you've been noticing, but ever since Rose McGowan supposedly lost her marbles at a Barnes& and Noble in New York last week, she's been the topic of discussion on nearly every social media outlet that I've come across. So I thought that maybe this deserves a closer look. So I looked a little closer. As seen on many different media social outlets, Rose McGowan is going around and slamming Alyssa Milano, stating that McGowan thinks Milano is a lie and a liar. They did, however, in history, co star together in a crappy TV show known as Charmed. Milano is now the host of Project Runway instead of Heidi Klum, and that just makes the world really sad. It's just not the same. So I can understand where Milano has continued to achieve and aspire, and McGowan's feeling, well, victimized, forgot about, irrelevant. Now you may be asking, Chloe, what is a CAA? Is it like the CIA? Well, to be honest, it kinda is. For the Hollywood elite, anyway. You won't be catching Chloe Clive as a member of the CAA, and I in fact doubt PewDiePie, the number one YouTuber in the world, is a member of the CAA. Anyway, CAA stands for the Creative Artist Agency, which is basically, the Illuminati handler agency working in an Illuminati building. If you look it up, you'll see clearly the symbolism is all over the outside, so you can just let your mind run wild with what you're probably gonna run into occult wise on the inside. However, McGowan does bring up that Alyssa Milano is married to a CAA agent. So, what allegations she could potentially be throwing up on the table in this rant, I'm going to let you, as the viewer, do your own research, and if you know, let me know. I personally am a citizen who indeed grew up on Alyssa Milano and her workout tapes and all that stuff. I think she was the one from Who's the Boss. Anyway, I'm too old to look back to find that out because we got way more important stuff to talk about, Clo Riders. So, Alyssa Milano is married to a CAA agent or handler named Dave Bugalari. Bugagliari. Okay. Bugliari. Funny that the word liar is actually in that husband's last name. We'll just see that as an oversight. So, McGowan claims that the Time's Up movement is directed and executed by the CAA and that Milano is a promoter, supporter, and partaker in the abuse that McGowan claims the CAA enabled Weinstein and so many of the other sexual deviants going through being called out but facing no charges agenda. We all see it, right? If somebody in your community is being accused of raping somebody, they are arrested and they remain detained in most cases until the court goes to trial, unless a judge sees that there are circumstances in which bail would be non-harmful to the victim and potential future or other victims. So you gotta kind of scratch your head a little bit and say, wait, how come all these people are calling out all these men? But wait, none of them are in jail. None of them have court dates that are announced here to the public. So it's a confusing double standard, if you will. I feel like it should be what's good for Monday is good for Tuesday, etc., etc. What happens on a legal level to the citizens is exactly what should happen on a legal level to the celebrities and the elite. However, fact and history has proven that that is not the way it is, and very likely in my lifetime, that's the way it will always be. Sure enough, the video was a spectacle. However, with her comments aimed at Alyssa Milano and Barnes and Noble then claiming to be visually raped on the red carpets, really, surely Rose McGowan has lost what few marbles she may ever have had. It's hard to feel sympathy for someone who hardly portrays a true victim. Outlandish comments and outbursts of outrage, accusations without charges. It all seems, well, like a really written and executed script. The Manhattan Barnes& Noble sure saw its undesired share of McGowan rage spewed all over the place when a tranny activist interrupted McGowan last week for not being considerate to intersex concerns. Fucking activists. Blah. Being a biological woman, I do not buy into the trans agenda or any of that satanic sheeple distortion of life. I just don't, and I don't have to. It is my right as someone who has lived here for several decades to not buy into what is predictively being pre-programmed into us via the music industry, Hollywood, celebrities, and every basic public source of information that is being shoved and imposed down our throats as citizens. That's my right. I have that right. I have a right to believe that heterosexuality still has a place in America and it's not as a minority. That's my right. If you don't like it, get the fuck off my channel. If you don't like it, feel free to take your hateful efforts and leave some humorous comments in the comment section below. It's okay. I know some of you just can't help yourself. I mean, isn't her tour about having been brave enough to monetize her trauma? I don't know. That's what it seems like to a lot of us out here. I will say I was surprised at McGowan's comment on her Twitter that alleges that Andy Dyer, the activist, tranny, what have you, who started the outburst about tranny issues, was supposedly, according to McGowan, a paid plant to cause a ruckus intentionally. Now, with that on the table, it makes me wonder, was that part of the McGowan camp paying that person, planting that person to give them the exposure to the media to help push the book tour? Because I can see that more likely than the pink pussy wearing hat activist sending this guy in there to try to make a point about their activism while she's touring on a book tour about being brave enough to come out and monetize her story. Anytime a tranny can get their 5 minutes of fame, they'll sell their soul to take it. Then they use their stage or their platform to spew hate and intolerance rather than prove to society why trannies or transgender or the trans agenda should be anything other than a sexual preference instead of making it this huge, blown up, overrated, overinflated movement. Again, if you do not like what you're hearing and you want to call me transphobic or any of those other pretty little labels that you hold in your pocket, then why don't you do us both a favor and get the fuck off my channel? Because as I've said before, and I will continue to say, there are plenty of other channels out there that will hold your little hand, coddle you, and tell you only the things that you want to hear. Those channels are out there. They exist, but it's not this one. Let me solidify the clarity in that I am not transphobic. I'm hetero proud. I can't support all these sheeple who have been hijacked by the trans agenda, thinking and playing God as an option. I was raised in better times, morals, ethics, and values.
I have a suggestion. Talk about what you said on RuPaul. Trans women are dying. And you said that we, as trans women, are not like regular women. We get raped more often. We go to domestic violence more often. A trans woman was killed here a few blocks. I have been followed home.
So have I. So have I. We're the same. My point was we are the same. There's an entire show called ID Channel, a network dedicated 24 hours a day to women getting abused, murdered, sexualized, and violated. And you are too, sister.
And trans
it's
women
the
go to
same.
domestic violence, and you do nothing for them. Trans women are in men's prisons. And what have you done for them?
What have you done for women?
Lots of things.
I've done lots of things too. You don't know my life. Don't sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Enough. Get lost.
I am a woman, and trans women.
Congratulations. So am I.
This is the genocide. This is the AIDS crisis all over again. And this is white, cis, feminism.
Shut up. You're so boring.
White, cis, feminism.
Don't label me, sister. Don't put your labels on me. Don't you fucking do that.
Don't worry about her.
Do not put your label on me. I don't come from your planet. Leave me alone. I do not subscribe to your rules. I do not subscribe to your language. You do not put labels on me or anybody. Step the fuck back. What I do is for the fucking world, and you should be fucking grateful. So shut the fuck up. Get off my back. What have you done? Because I know what I've done. God damn it.
We're so grateful.
We love you.
Don't worry about her.
I'm not worried. I'm fucking mad at the lies. I'm mad at the stereotypes. I'm mad that you put shit on me because I have a fucking vagina and I'm white or I'm black or I'm yellow or I'm purple. Fuck off. All of us want to say it. I just do. God damn. No, it's not.
Women do know. That's why they kept quiet for so long, because it takes so much fucking energy. And for you to stand up, thank you.
Trans women are women. What I've been trying to say is that it's actually identical. The stats are not that dissimilar. You break it down, it is a much fucking smaller population. There's not a network, however, devoted to your fucking death. There's not advertisers advertising tampons as a camera goes lovingly up a girl's body as she's being fucking raped and strangled. Piss off. And until you can collect that fucking check, back up. My name is Rose McGowan, and I'm obviously fucking brave. God damn it. It's time we tell the truth. God, I'm bored, right? Isn't it boring? Isn't bored? Isn't everyone bored just fucking...
You know, I don't find it at all a coincidence that her stylist chose to dress her in this everyday Joe Schmo red hoodie. You know, if you don't know about occult symbolism and the occult color spectrum, this would be a good time to pause the video and do a little research. While Nicki Minaj has gone missing, we have people like Rose McGowan plugging a book tour. Unfortunately, this attention-seeking Holly weirdo is clearly out to make a buck off monetizing the rape and suffering and pillaging of other people that she could have spoke up sooner and likely prevented. So let's end with a poem. There once was a screamer, oh so brave. Attention she needed, attention she craved. Silence she kept, allowing more victims than herself. Decades rolled by. The sexual perversions turned blur. Scripts stopped scrolling her way. Money began drying up like clay. So she wrote a book, taking a day or two, hoping when done, the chapters would bring pay. Little thought of having had ability, of following some line of civility, or having any type of nobility. Rose McGowan helped shape a silent ring of repetitive rape, not protecting other victims, contributing to an ongoing list of symptoms, causing a methodic system of rape victims. But McGowan isn't here for justice. Her compass pointed at trust, that is. Her book, her words to riches. Not a voice of advocacy, but a true experience, an example, and voice of travesty.